meeting to order. And again, we won't be able to approve the minutes from the March 9th meeting. We'll have to just kind of table that for now. So I don't know, Anthony, if you want to kind of run us through what's going on, the programs, current program, volleyball is pretty much it, right?
Yeah, so adult volleyball, they're playing at the sand courts by the middle school. Brian has 6 people registered, so they're kind of hoping to get more. And they're basically going to go until the weather allows them. So I think probably late October, early November is when they're going to stop.
Okay.
Squirt soccer starts this Saturday. We have 12 kids registered for that. And we had to move to the Senexit Village field because the elementary school did not grant permission to use their fields.
Okay.
So we're going to still run that. And then the boys academy team, they have a couple kids that are going to come down and help out with practices as well.
Perfect.
Are there any parents that said they would volunteer as coaches too, or did you not ask because now you have like the soccer coaches the soccer players that are going to do that?
So I asked, and we have 2, but they have a couple dates that they're not available. So what I'm thinking is we'll just keep it as one big group, and if one can't make it, then the other one can kind of fill in.
Yeah, it's just 12 kids you said, right?
Yeah, just 12 kids. So it's kind of good to get it going again, but it's a lot smaller than what we're used to. And then Dawn's going to go back to the indoor fall yoga. She's going to do that at the Grange since the town hall isn't open for meetings or classes yet. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to limit it to 12 people. That way we can properly distance everyone and they don't have to wear a mask while they're doing yoga. And that's going to start at the end of September. And then the other thing we'll have going on is fall girls basketball. I talked to John and Jim, and we're going to run like an instructional league because right now there's pretty much no chance of having a winter league. Killingly is the only rec department that has indoor gym usage. So we're looking at doing just kind of individual leagues within the towns this year.
Okay.
So we're going to kind of use that fall girls basketball as a test to see if there's interest in doing something for girls, boys, and then probably the K through 4th grade, we would try to get that going as well in the spring. And then I talked to Lori, and Trick or Treat is still on at Roseland Cottage. I think there's just going to be a few small changes. And then Roseland Park has asked if we would be interested in helping them out with that trunk or treat event they're running.
Great.
So I think the Roseland Cottage would be on the Friday, and then the trunk or treat, I believe, is that Saturday. So
And
that's kind of the.
Did Rick say how he wants you to help them out? Was it
He didn't. He didn't. I have to reach back in because I know Lori was a little hesitant because she kind of felt like if we help out with that, then we're kind of going away from, helping her out for the past few years. So I just had to make sure they're both on different days, and then I'll touch base with them to see what they want from us.
Okay.
For help with it.
Well, it might just be nice to work with them in terms of like promoting the event, because even if we just put it out like on our Facebook page, it still makes the rec department look a little more active.
Yeah,
right?
because we don't really have a whole lot going on right now.
Yeah, so even just to like piggyback on it in terms of like just helping to get the word out, I think would be good for both.
Yeah, so I'll touch base with Rick, and then I forgot who the other name was that was in charge. I'll ask them kind of what they're thinking.
Great.
Because I know I talked to him a little bit today, and he was kind of, there's obviously a few challenges with that, with everything going on that he's trying to figure out right now.
Okay.
I know I saw someone comment on one of the posts about it asking if it would happen because Putnam has already announced canceling a lot of things. So I don't know what the restrictions are or will be at this point for like an outdoor event like that, or how, if they have to control like the number of people that come in at a time, or how it will work, or how definite it is that it'll happen.
I wonder if they're gonna just say that it's like Woodstock residents only.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't asked them. I'm not sure because I know even at Roseland Cottage, it's going to be tough with the amount of kids we normally have.
Yeah, you're usually packed in a line there, like on top of each other. And if they don't have, I'm assuming there's no trick or treat street because that's indoors and that's not going to work, then you'll have even more people that would be attending any of the outdoor stuff. It just seems like there'll have to be a lot put in place for controlling numbers or attendance or breaking up the times that people can come or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and then Brooklyn canceled Spooky Nights, so that's kind of a big event that won't be happening this year.
Right. And Putnam canceled a lot of their, like their whole pumpkin festival, I think, or a lot of stuff.
Yep. I would maybe circle back with Lori and just ask her like what were her thoughts about like how she plans to like execute that. Like what's different than last year? Like how is she gonna keep people, like Marie said, like spaced away from each other, preventing lines from forming? You know, does everyone have to wear a mask? How are they gonna be enforcing that? And
Yeah,
don't
I'll have
forget
to talk to her
dark
again
out.
because yeah, I'll talk to her again and I'll try to figure out because all the lines and then obviously people handing out the candy too. I don't know how she's going to handle all that.
Okay, I would assume she probably has some sort of thoughts, but I would just get her to share them.
Yeah, because we briefly talked about it at the concerts. Really, I just wanted to know if she was still planning on offering it this year.
Great.
So that's kind of all that we have upcoming and going on right now. For past programs, we had the 2 concerts. We had Static, which was that Academy band. Lori and I, we marked out the field. We had circles, so we kind of tried to distance everyone as best we could. We had to require masks for that. For that concert, she counted 200 people. For the Alphented Big Band, she counted 230 people. And then Grassroots, which was the other band we had scheduled for this year, that band is going to be rescheduled to 2021. They had a couple of band members that were affected by the virus, so they canceled all their performances. Tag sale, we had 19 locations this year on the map, and we sold a total of 142 maps. So that felt like a pretty good number this year for everything that's going on.
Yeah, that's great.
And then we sent out, for Teague, I sent out a donation for $175 as a part of that tag sale.
Oh, nice.
Great.
Volleyball camps, that's probably been the most successful summer program we had. Jeff started with the outdoor camp, and that had 40 kids. So he decided to also run small group lessons. He did an indoor camp, and then he did a preseason camp. So he had a total of 4 camps this year. And that ranged from, I think 40 was the biggest to, I think small groups had like 20 kids. Each one he did 2 sessions for as well. Christina's classes, she only had 3 registered this summer. So she just had her morning session. Town Beach, we closed that last weekend for the season. And we switched from LaBeouf since they don't deliver there anymore. So we found someone local now for a new trash service. So that's kind of everything that we have going on and all the things that happened this summer. We did get a phone call about, this would probably have to be in the future, but if we'd be open to having that Wii system open for teens and then also doing like some sort of teen night.
Yeah, I mean, as a mom of teens, I think it's a great idea. It's just, I know, like for myself, I feel like the girls kind of have a very small pod of people that they're been allowed to interact with. I just don't know like how we would manage that.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I worded it to them. Like, it's going to have to be when everything kind of goes back to somewhat normal, because right now it'd be nearly impossible, and I don't know if you'd even have a space for it.
Yeah, that's something that I wouldn't be comfortable. Like my boys, I'm keeping all of them home right now. I think it is a nice idea for the future. We talk a lot about things for seniors, you know, and we have adult classes and the sports, but something different for teens. You know, there are the kids that don't like to go to school dances, and once the youth nights end, when they place out of that age-wise, but the kids that liked going to something like that would probably enjoy teen nights, you know, in the future when the world is normal.
Yeah, I just think it's just something that would be hard for us to manage unless like you capped it. Even if you're having people sign up and let's say you only had 12 kids or something, I don't know like how many parents would be comfortable with like 12 kids that haven't been interacting all of a sudden interact. I know like for me, I wouldn't, because I wouldn't know what those other parents are doing like for their family in terms of like keeping their family safe. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, it'd be tough right now.
If it's helpful, we're doing a lot of virtual programming for the college students, for those who are off campus, to link socially with our students on campus. So I can browse they put out a flyer each week with like all the different events going on, and we usually have like 10 to 15. So I can scan those and see if there might be anything we could adapt for like, you know, our teen or kids in Woodstock who are a little bit older, and see if there'd be anything useful there. Like they do anything from like virtual bingo and trivia nights where kids are logging in remotely and like doing the same thing for prizes to, I don't know. There's like always things. So I can scan that and see if that would be useful.
Yeah, anything that would be helpful, because there's not really a whole lot that we're offering and that we have going on.
Anthony, was there no tennis this year because of COVID, or is that something that we won't be offering anymore in the summers? Like, is she just done doing that?
So that's a little unclear. She was going to run it, but then all of a sudden she's no longer at the academy.
Oh,
and
okay.
Then, so I don't know if that factored into it. And then I think there was something like family. She had to do like babysitting for her daughter or something. So it was more on her side of why we couldn't run it.
Okay.
Well, she was in charge of like athletics at the academy. So, like she was one of the athletic directors. I'm pretty sure she got like furloughed through the whole like COVID thing. Like that position is not happening right now.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it sounded like. So we were planning on doing it, but it just sounded like through personal reasons she wasn't able to run anything in August this year.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll be able to do it next year. If she can't do it, Brad Favreau gave me a name of someone else that runs tennis camps and clinics.
The other thing was, I know for past programs you had mentioned the town beach. I just sent you an email, Anthony, that I've been meaning to send you for like a month. I think I had it in my head we were going to have a meeting sooner, and I was like, oh, I'll just talk with him. But my neighbor had gone to the town beach for the first time this summer on Saturday, July 25th. And it had started out, she was so excited to go with her two daughters, and then she ended up having not the nicest experience with the constable that was there. She said he was super nice to her, and then, you know, because they asked people for their IDs to see that they're residents, she didn't have a problem with that at all. She'd never been there before, and, you know, he did ask her for it. He explained why. She had no problem showing it to him, but later on, like a bunch of other cars came, and the other drivers right in front of her asked if they had to show their IDs, and he just said, no, you have that kind of face, I trust you. And the woman had even said, well, what kind of face? And he said, oh, an honest one. And it was very insulting to my neighbor. She said that he didn't even, I don't think, she's like, I don't even think he realized what he was doing as far as coming off as, she's Puerto Rican, and just coming off as pretty racist in his comments. She didn't want to get him in trouble, which kind of like made me hesitate on when I was going to talk to you, and I didn't want to do it like immediately. And she really just wanted it to be something that whoever is in charge of the constables kind of addresses with training and the way they speak to people. I did forward you her post that she had put publicly, and of course all of her family members were extremely upset about that. It was disappointing because she had been so excited to go there for the first time with her daughters, and it was just a mom there with 2 little girls, and she clearly wasn't there causing any trouble or looking to do anything wrong, and it just came off really wrong.
Do you know, you said what, July 25th is when
Saturday,
she was
July
down there?
25th. So she didn't know his name. She was like, he was an extremely nice man. His wife was even there, I think, swimming laps. And like his wife had come over and talked to her on the beach and, you know, just talked about whatever, was very friendly. The whole time she was there, it had been pleasant and fine. She had had no issue with showing her ID at all. But it's not like she just moved here and still had Massachusetts plates. She has her Connecticut plates on her car. So there was nothing like suspicious about anything with her. And she wouldn't have minded at all about asking for her ID until those comments later on, right in front of her. You know, especially with her daughters right there and then having to worry about explaining to them, like, you know, why does she not have an honest face? What does that mean about what she looks like? So it was just disappointing. And I don't know who's in charge of the constables per se, but since we as the rec department are involved with the town beach, I had told her I'd pass it on. And again, she's like, I'm not trying to get him in trouble in any way, but she just felt like it wasn't right and shouldn't just be left alone.
Yeah, so Stu Morris is the head constable now, so I can talk to him and Jay and bring this to their attention tomorrow morning.
All right.
Is there
lot
a
of the-
consistent policy? Like, is there a policy that IDs can be checked or that IDs will not be checked? Because it also sounds like just consistently following the policy would avoid any misunderstandings.
And that's what she felt like, if that, because that does, I mean, I've been asked for my ID there and we've lived here forever, and it's fine, but it should be done to everyone, or at least until they know the person and said, oh, I saw you here yesterday, I've checked your ID. But you know, it wasn't like he said that, because she did listen, and it wasn't like he said, oh no, I've seen you here before, I saw your ID last week, anything like that. So just the comments, the way he worded it was just hurtful.
Yeah, and I think what they have set up is that they're supposed to check the ID and write, they have a little log sheet and they're supposed to write down everybody that comes in.
So I just forwarded you what she had posted, and I can, if there's any more questions, I can talk to you more about like the conversation I had with her afterwards, because she really hesitated even saying anything. And then I had said I'd follow up when we had a meeting, and then that meeting ended up not happening. And I kept being like, it just seemed like I wanted to say something without just sending it. So that's why I just sent it now as we were going to meet.
Yeah, I saw that and I was reading it on my phone as we were talking too.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll bring it up to Jay and then I'll talk to Stu about it as well, since he's the one that would be in charge of all the constables.
Okay.
And I
a
think
lot
it would,
of them not like saying anything about the constables in town. I think we've all seen them numerous times enough to know that they are, majority of them are of the older
Yes.
population, and they probably could use maybe just a little sensitivity training.
Exactly. And that's what she felt like, because she said he was a super nice man. Like their actual interactions were wonderful. She felt very welcomed. It was just kind of a blow afterwards to hear that. But she felt like, she's like, that's why she said, I don't think he meant to say what he said. And he didn't even realize how he was coming off, because he was an older man, you know. And at first I was like, oh, I'm neighbors with Stuart Moore. So I was like, oh, was it my neighbor? Because she lived on our road too. So but it didn't sound like him. But I just figured, yeah, they might need a little bit of just to be aware of how it's coming off.
no, but at least, and I think he would know, I think he keeps a log of who works every weekend too, and it's usually the same people.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll bring that up to 2 of them and then see what Stu can do, just as kind of a reminder, just to, with interactions down at the beach.
Yeah, and like Erica said, just the consistency. If there's that particular policy, then that makes it clean cut. You just ask every person because you're keeping a log or whatever you're doing, or, you know, so.
Yeah, because I know they have a log sheet, and what they should be doing is everybody that comes in, they write down license plate number, I think, name, address, stuff like that. And I know they'd opened up that gate for the entire summer because they had an increase of like people coming down to the beach this year.
So looking under possible programs, I think we pretty much touched on everything except for thoughts on the Winter Festival.
Mm.
Yeah, so I talked to Rick about it briefly today because the Woodstock Fair asked if we'd be doing it this year, and I kind of hinted to my dad because he's on the board that it's more than likely not going to happen just because it'd be difficult to run those type of activities right now.
Yes.
Right.
To be like asking people to make a point of going into small local businesses when we're trying to avoid crowds, and then hosting things where you have groups of people for crafts or anything like that, and the
Right.
cookie decorating. It just, I know I just said that the other day to my husband, like, oh, that can't happen.
Right.
Which is too bad because we were coming off of it going well and like looking for it to grow this year.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing that you have to take a break when you just started it.
Right. But at
I don't
least
know.
everyone's pausing right now.
Right. If there's any way we can do anything, my husband just suggested to me, like online, some sort of virtual thing where I don't know how many of the businesses have websites, or if there's a way to do anything to still help promote the businesses, if we can help with that partnership still, but it wouldn't have the same feel, obviously. I don't know. And then like for the prizes and stuff, it might be complicated, but
Yeah, I can talk to Linda. I haven't been to a business meeting in a while, but I can see what her thoughts are if there's anything like virtually we could do.
Question about a possible program. We got a note in Facebook about Pomfret Rec Department is doing some movies outside. So kind of like the concerts, you bring your blanket and set up in your spot and, you know, eat a snack and bring your family and watch family-friendly movies. Do you ever want to do anything like that? Especially with the movie theaters closed?
I could definitely look into it, and I know Thompson was thinking about doing that as well.
Yeah, that'd be great. And what a cool thing if we could do something like that and partner with like Rick at the park or do it at the Pink House.
Yes.
That would be really cool.
I think
yeah,
a
we'd
lot
have
of
to see if we
families.
could do it soon as far as weather, like before it gets too cold, but there's still nice temperatures at night right now. What was because you said there were over 200 people for the concerts. Is there a limit right now for outdoor gatherings?
I think the limit is 500 right now.
Oh, okay.
We'll be
Yeah,
fine.
so we'll never get
We're
near
good.
that number. And then I think
If you not to interrupt, but just thinking about that idea, if there was some way, because you know I'm on both boards, so I'm always thinking about the park as well, and we're desperate for funding because we basically lost all of our funding for this year without being able to rent out our barns for weddings and whatnot. So there's really no stream of income coming in over there like there has been. I mean, it's like a $20-something thousand loss. If you could partner with Rick, maybe there would be a way we could charge a small fee, like for the cars coming into the park, like you know, where when you enter, you know, maybe it's like $5 to be able to come and see the movie, like for your carload, and then the park
Hot
might
chocolate.
make a little bit of money. I don't know. It's just a thought.
yeah, I can reach out to Rick tomorrow too and see what he thinks.
Like maybe even if you had hot chocolate or popcorn that was like pre-bagged or something and you could buy it and the proceeds go towards the park, even, you know, people might be extra interested in coming.
Right. Just an idea.
Yeah, and then I can reach out to either Pomfret or Thompson to get the information on what company they went through for the movie screens.
They're rebooting Hocus Pocus, making a second one. So you could do Hocus Pocus in the park for October. That would be really fun. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
Yeah, we could do that.
I think the Hill Church in town just had a sign advertising
Oh,
that
you're
they were
right.
doing an outdoor movie night. So they might even have a screen or some information to share too.
I'm writing that as a note right now to ask them tomorrow.
Okay.
And there's got to be a way too that we could have a, you know, like for the park space, if we felt we could only have X amount of people to just cap it, you know,
Mhm.
it's like first come, first serve, and sometimes that just has to be it.
And I think Roseland Park would probably be the best place to hold that.
Yeah, that'd be really cool idea. Anything
all
else
I've
about
got. That's my-
programming?
That's my one nugget. That's all I've got.
I like that. Good job, Erica.
No, that's good. That helps because there's not, like, I've been kind of racking my brain to come up with things, and there's not really much you can do right now.
Yeah, there's really not.
Yeah, and my hours are kind of been shortened a little bit because I am running kind of all the Zoom meetings at night, and then I'm also working in the first selectman's office, and Jay has me set up to handle all the pistol permit applications now.
Do we have an uptick in permit application?
It feels like it. It feels like it's been a fair amount. I've only been doing it for a couple weeks.
Wow.
But it's good. It keeps me busy.
Good. It's good. All right, anything else? Should we meet, maybe circle back around if we find out that the movie idea might be a possibility? We can meet again, maybe on Zoom just for 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, we can do that. I'll try to get the information on it tomorrow, and I'll let you know by the end of the week what I find out.
Okay.
Yeah, and if we need to,
And-
we can always invite Rick to come to be a part of the Zoom meeting.
Because what are we, it's probably up to Rick, but what are we like shooting for? Like middle of October, beginning of October?
Yeah,
I think that makes sense. Maybe avoiding the long weekend.
right.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it during Columbus Day weekend.
So what's the
So I
weekend
say either
after
the
that?
weekend before or the weekend after.
So either Saturday the 3rd or Saturday the 17th? Or do you want to do it on a
Even
Friday?
The 17th might not be too late. I mean, bring blankets, wear a sweatshirt,
Yeah.
right?
Buy our delicious snacks.
Right.
And I'm sure, I'll talk to him, but I'm sure it's going to depend on if he's got any, I don't know if he's doing weddings or any activities down at the park this
Not
year.
really. I mean, there randomly might be one, but, you know, 90% of everything was pretty much canceled, or people either got their money back or they pushed it off to next year.
They just
Yeah,
had that. Oh, God.
No, go ahead.
They just had that poetry reading. Is that something he's going to be doing regularly, or was that a one-time thing?
I'm not sure. I think they were kind of seeing how that would go.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't heard any updates about it.
I saw some pictures posted from it.
Oh, good.
There were people there.
Great. Awesome. Fantastic. Yeah, anything else?
I think that kind of covers everything.
All right.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn at 7:35. I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Fabulous.